Thank you for catching the replay. Thank you guys who will catch us live. Don't judge me. I'm still trying to work out my own hair situations over here. I am always like looking at um, another screen because I am one. Hi, Jessica. I am one that likes to do an outline when I, no problem, when I do a live, just because I'm one who can talk. And sometimes when I talk, I can like lose track of what I'm talking about. So today we are going to be talking about just things that happen to us every day in life. Like many of us, I mean, our moms, we're wives, we're girlfriends, we have jobs in corporate America, we have businesses that we're running, we have other people that depend on us otherwise, and a lot of times we are those that like to help others a lot. And I know that that has been me like pretty much all my life. I don't struggle with people pleasing anymore, but I still like to help any way that I can. And sometimes I overextend. And when I overextend, I tend to do everything that I told somebody else I would do, but I don't always stay focused on the things that I wanted to do for myself. So we just want to talk about today, like how it feels when we are kind of, when we're unsuccessful at something that we wanted to do, and how we can make it better, right? So we all have had some disappointments, something that we said we were going to do, something that we wanted to do, something that we promised ourselves we would do by this age. A lot of times, like I know me personally, there were times in my life when I felt like I was behind. Like I felt like I was supposed to be in a certain place at a specific time in my life. Like some of us feel like we're supposed to be married, and hi everybody, thank you guys for joining. But a lot of times like we feel like we're supposed to be married and have kids by a certain age, or a lot of us feel like we should have a certain amount of money in the bank by the certain age, or we feel like our business should have produced a certain amount by this certain point, and then we end up getting frustrated with ourselves. We end up feeling let down. Now you got two ways that people normally handle this. One, it'll make you get up and go harder. Or two, sometimes people get into this depression and they allow all those negative feelings to kind of control how they move on a day-to-day basis. And so I'm so glad to be a part of this group that has a lot of like-minded women, and it's that, you know, we all kind of experience the same things on a day-to-day basis. Like your struggle might be more than mine might be more than yours, but generally the patterns are the same. Like we get overwhelmed, we get tired, but then again, you know, we feel recharged and we have a lot that we want to do and accomplish. So I just want to talk about some personal experiences that I've had. About in 2017, I wrote my first book that's published. It's called Broken Beginnings, Beautifully Graced, and you can go purchase that on Amazon. There's my picture. My husband actually had that made for me at Costco. But anyway, I wrote that book, right? And I'm just giving you an example of like something that went well and then all of a sudden didn't go well. So I wrote that book back in 2017, and I was super excited because God told me to write it. And I just knew it was about to be successful and there was going to be no problems and this was going to be great. It was going to be a bestseller, right? So I wrote the book. I had already talked to my family about writing it. And then I had already talked to my family about it. I had all their support. As soon as that book dropped, well, number one, I did hit the bestsellers list. But as soon as the book dropped, there was like this huge amount of backlash that I got from certain members of my family who, like, you know, we all got that like big mama kind of rule. And I don't know if everybody has it, but in my family, that big mama rule is strong. Like what happens in his family stays in his family. And my book happens to talk about the molestation that I went through. It talks about a lot of things that I went through. So because of that, I actually went through this deep depression because I was like, all I was trying to do was what God told me to do. All I was trying to do was share my story so that people can get free. That's all I was trying to do. But there was such backlash. Like, even some of my family members were praying like witchcraft curses against me. I won't get into that because that's not what this is about. But I wanted to talk about those kind of ways that we end up handling. So because of that, I went into this depression for a minute, like a little quick minute, because if you know me at all, you know I'm a pretty positive person. And so I had to, number one, I had to learn to put some boundaries in place. I had to let people know, don't even report to me what this negativity is being said about me, because it's not going to help me. And number two, I had to understand, like, because at that point, I was really expecting the support of my family and the support of my friends. And so, number two, I had to realize, like, number one, like, as a business person, as an author, my family isn't necessarily my target audience. And that's not why I wrote the book. I wrote it because God told me to, and I wanted to empower people. So I had to kind of like reset and refresh my mind. I had to like make up my mind that I knew that I had done what God told me to do. I checked my motives. And then I had to like reconcile all that within myself, and then I had to go forward. And so then once I made up my mind and I stopped having the frustrations and hurt, like if I'm being quite honest, of how my particular members of my family were, I had to get back to why I did it to begin with. What was my why? My why, number one, is because I literally love to help other people get free. Number two, like, I wanted to create some streams of financial freedom for myself. So I wanted to have some different streams of income to come in. And number three is because I have been wanting to write it for years. So once I kind of reconciled that, the thing that I learned from that is that, in business and in family, like, people aren't always going to be there, and they're not always going to support you in the way that you want. So in that, like, I didn't lose. There were some family members who relationship I needed to establish boundaries around anyway. So, I definitely learned. That was a starting point of me learning the importance of boundaries in every relationship in my life. And so I did consider that a loss at the time because, like I said, some of those relationships are still strained. But what I do now know is that those boundaries should have been in place anyway. And I also learned that you have to have tough skin, like, in this entrepreneurial game, like, because everybody is not going to like it, like what you have to do, what you have to say. And not only that, like, as a prophet of God, you got to have tough skin. You can't be worried about what people are going to say. So there's been many times in my life, like, even if I go back to childhood, I think about how I was really always an outspoken child. Even like when I was little, I can remember my uncles and my aunts being frustrated. Do not disturb. I would always question you if you gave me something and it just didn't sit right. I was never like a yes man to anybody. But as I began to grow up in the church, they called me rebellious, right? And I think I might have shared a little bit about this the last time I came on. But they called me rebellious. But what I came to understand is we were taught, and this might rub some of y'all the wrong way too. But what I've come to realize is that we were taught to be extremely like submissive and quiet and kind of stay in our place by people who were taught, by people who were taught, by people who were taught, by people who owned us, like who it was legal to own us, and who, if we spoke back or if we had an issue with something that was being done that was right, that we basically got whipped for it, right? And so what God was doing through me is like teaching me boldness and teaching me truth, but the world was telling me, no, don't do it. So fast forward. Exactly, Jessica. We're always taught to stay in our place. So fast forward, I get into church, and now, like, I am trying to figure out who I am. I'm trying to figure out how to fit myself into this structure, this organized system of religion that I was in at the time. And I just didn't fit in. So what did I do? Became a people pleaser, right? I started to check off all the boxes. I started to do everything that I was said, but I was miserable. And that was yet another disappointment, right? And I really got quiet. I separated myself. But what we all have to realize is the thing that's in us that we have to do is needed. And we learn, like, we go through the different stages of learning. We go through different stages of development and of growth. But the important thing is that we always stay focused, even when there is like a dip in the road or a ditch in the road. Like, we have to navigate it somehow. Every setback is not a failure. As a matter of fact, I don't think that we lose at all. I think that we win or we learn. And so while I may have, in my opinion, lost a lot of time trying to please other people, trying to make other people happy trying to say what I had to say or do what I had to do, but make it fit in with the culture of the environment that I was in, I no longer feel that it's necessary to do that. As a matter of fact, now I feel completely free to be me. And so all of that I'm saying, I'm saying to say, like, we all go through like these kind of disappointments, and we all have these high goals that we set for ourselves, or some of us have parents that have set these high goals for us. And when we don't meet what we consider the mark, sometimes we get discouraged, right? But at the end of the day, I think that you're always in the right place at the right time, even if it doesn't feel like it. When I look back over my life and I think about when I was homeless, when I think about when my husband and I used to fight physically, when I think about so many things, even that situation that I told you about earlier with my family and how they basically kind of turned their back, and not all of them, or not even most of them, but it still hurt, right? I still look at the fact that even though in some of those moments I felt like I was in so much despair, I felt like I had made the wrong choices, I felt like I had done the wrong thing, and I felt like just throw it all away and start over. When I look back at it, everything that we did, everything that I went through was actually very necessary for who I am and who I am still becoming. So I just want to just encourage you, like, the bottom line is you have to know what it is that you're doing and why it is that you're doing. Like, my compass is my relationship with God. And I have learned to depend on that and trust in that even more. But the other part of it is we are a part of a society, right? We are a part of a nation. So a lot of what we do has to fit in, or it has to be of use to where we are. And I think it's important to find within that society, that nation, that group, like-minded people who are going to hold you accountable, people who are going to not be yes men to you, but who are going to tell you the truth in love. Because if their motive is to truly love you and to truly see you advance, then they can't just let you go by and live by the status quo. They can't let you go by and not give your absolute best in every situation that you're in. And so that's one reason that I'm really happy to be in this group. I know that, like, sometimes there are ebbs and flows in everything that we do, but I do think the common thread here in SBBU is to build one another up. Whether we're supporting you financially, or whether we're just that place where you can come to get an encouraging word, to get you got this, keep going. And so I think it's so important, not only on social media, but in your life, to surround yourself with people that are going to just push you, just tell you when you're wrong, give you encouragement when you're right, give you some different ways to look at things. And I don't want us to get discouraged when we are not where we feel like we should be at this time, because at the end of the day, our life, as we begin to live it and we begin to live it out loud, is going to be the roadmap for the next person. And when I really believe that once we actually take a moment to look back at the things that we've already gone through, that they really weren't that bad. It's like when you're in a situation and you're not doing something that you want to be doing, that problem is usually magnified in our minds. But when you look back, you can always see the point that this helps you change something. This helped change your perception. This helped change your perspective. This helped kind of get you from going a little bit off to the left to going back in a straight line. So I want us to be just really cognizant of that, because I know that I'm not the only one. And I know that somebody listening to this is like, dang, I just felt like I was giving up. I remember at one point in my life, for real, I felt like I was 4 years behind. Like, I felt like I can remember the day and the time that I made a wrong choice and it put me behind. And I was like, that's crazy, because when I look back at it, like, how is it that we have ourselves on this timeline and we really don't even know what it is that we are going to experience on a day-to-day basis? Like, we put ourselves on this timeline because we think we have something to prove. We give ourselves these deadlines that are kind of made up in our mind because of some pressure that we've put on ourselves. In truth, like, I don't think I will ever be satisfied if I don't always have a goal that I'm trying to attain. But I have learned to give myself a lot more grace, number one. But number two, I've also learned that the biggest parts of me being set back were those times when I was inconsistent, or were those times when I was more concerned about other people's opinions of what I was doing and where I was going than actually focusing on what I was doing and where I was going. And so that's something that I just want you to be mindful of. So we just wanted to come on today and just talk about that kind of stuff and see if you had any questions or see if you had anything you wanted to share. If you like, I have some time this afternoon. So if anybody wants to come on and share, that's awesome. But if not, go ahead and ask questions or put comments in the comments, and we'll answer you either now if you get them on here before I get bored at looking at this, because I don't see any questions, but we'll definitely answer them now or in the comments later. Does anybody have anything they want to share, or anybody have anything they want to ask about this particular topic of just talking about like setbacks in life and lessons that we learned and how to stay focused and how to stay accountable to people who actually have our best interests at heart? Sorry I was late. So we have a leadership team, and we all have set dates and times, and we support one another. So this is just an example. Like, we support one another, but we as a core group decided that we were going to do these specific things on these days. And, you know, one of our members was not able to, and so we step in and we support one another. And that's what this is about. If you are in a position in your business, or if you're in a position in your mind, you know, something that's going on with your family that you need encouragement, you can come here and get it. Somebody's going to help you. Jessica said, I can relate. I actually had a setback on a few things. Absolutely. We all go through it. I've had some setbacks. I was supposed to quit my job last year in March, but I got afraid because of Corona. And if you know me, I literally hate the spirit of fear. Like, it's something that it annoys me to my core. But I was afraid because my husband works in food service. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to affect them. Well, thankfully, nothing happened. Like, we were never affected at all. But I did wait 6 months to quit my job past the date that we had given ourselves. And immediately, like, I signed this contract to work with this psychiatrist company. And then I picked up some admin clients, so it's just been a blessing. So, yeah, just, you got to go for it. Jessica says, due to my past miscarriage, it puts a few things back. But I'm thankful for this group of family for helping me to get back up. Yep. And honestly, like, even, you know, with Jessica, since she mentioned that, like, we are pushing her, like, behind her. Like, we like, no, you got to get out there. You can't close this group down. Like, if don't nobody else need it, I need it. Like, you know, so what can I do to make it better? No, you can't, like, be discouraged or be depressed. You got to be that roadmap for the next person. No, I'm actually I'm a coach, and I do some life coaching for a psychiatrist practice and also a psychologist practice now. So yeah. But and I'm contracted with both of those groups. But yeah, so like, we push each other, and that's what this group is about. But I honestly surround myself with people, men and women, who constantly push me to do more. And you really can't be my friend if you don't want somebody to push you, because I'm just like a pusher and an encourager by nature. And I can be intense at times. Like today, one of my friends said something like, he was expecting some bad news at the doctor, and I'm like, that's not even how we walk into situations. We walk in expecting goodness. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to help you. I actually am putting together a life coach training program for one of the psychologist groups, because I can't take on any more of her clients. So, Janice, I'd be happy to help you. We can friend request. I don't think you're my friend. And then we can talk about it. So, yeah, Jessica, you definitely are an encouragement to me, and this group in and of itself is an encouragement. I love everything about it, and I just think that it's going to be dynamic. What some of the people in this group were able to accomplish only because we're going to be loving one another and pushing one another and encouraging one another. And I told you I don't judge me in this natural hair journey. I blow dried it. Anybody else? You're welcome. Yep, I got a few minutes. I'm not in a huge rush. I turned off the business line to do this because I was tired of taking calls, to be honest with you. I went and got my lashes done. She took a nice little time doing my lashes today, y'all. I love you too. Connections, collaborations, and celebrations. I'm excited about the trip that's going to be happening. I told my husband it'll be in June, so he already knows. Don't schedule nothing else for me in June, because I'm going to be somewhere. I am glad it was a blessing to you, Janice. I'll be happy to connect with you. Share this with anybody else, like inside the group. Go ahead and tag them. You're very welcome. Go ahead and tag. Thank you. She made them longer today. They're pretty long. But tag other people in this group who you think would need this message. And then I can't remember who's going to be on tomorrow, but something good will be happening. And make sure you guys like are engaged. Like, this group is full of wealth of resources. I mean, we got 6,000 women in here, so that's the bomb. We are the ultimate creators, in my opinion, and we are the ultimate wayfinders. Like, we can figure out how to do stuff, even if it's not the textbook or roadmap way to do it. We can figure out how to do something right. You know what I mean? So I would just get more active and engage with the people that are in here, because I'm sure that you'll find some encouragement and some wisdom in here. All right. Well, thank you guys. I don't know how long I've been on. I know I came on late. I'm so sorry about that. I forgot that I had my appointment today. You're welcome. Oh, good. See, I like that. So, Marianne, I don't know if y'all know this. I'm going to take a minute now. I really want to get into logistics and into dispatch. But let me tell you, I'm going to just take a minute to tell y'all what I got going on. And I know better than to take on this thing that Marion has right now, but it's the very next thing that I'm going to do. So Marion has been teaching, dropping all the nuggets and all the wisdom on how to get started in dispatch for free. And this was a while ago, and I'm like, oh, but you should just create a course. And I think some other people were kind of telling her the same thing. And so she's created it. And as you see, she was around people that pushed her. She already had the know-how, because she studied it. She's been doing it, and she's been giving it to people for free. So now she's still teaching for free, but she's also teaching people how to build it on a more intimate basis. And she's handling her business, and I love to see us launch out and do the things that we actually want to do. But let me tell y'all what I got going on, just so y'all know why I couldn't do it. First off, like I said, I quit my job, and I'm literally more busy now. I do admin work for a renovation company here and consulting with them. So I do some of their admin work. I consult with the owners, and I'm kind of like the coach for their teammates. So when you start seeing people like their performance is lacking, the first thing that we want to do is see what's going on in their family or what's going on with them mentally and how we can help you. So I'm like their own EAP. Then I have another company that's a construction company that I do some admin done for you services for them as well. And I'm the coach of the owner of that company. Then I have 2 groups that I am signed up to do life coaching for in Cincinnati, Ohio. I live in Columbus. And then I also have my own private clients that I have been doing. So I'm into group coaching because I just don't have time. And I think that I would like to help more people. So once I'm able to first off, I'm looking for an assistant. And secondly, once I have an assistant that I can get trained, and I can streamline more things, I'm going to be focused more on the group coaching, like creating the program so that I don't have to keep trying to do the one-on-one, because I simply just don't have the time for it. So as soon as I'm done with getting all that together, I'm going to circle back to the dispatch, because that's something that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years. So hook up with Marion. Like, if you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur that is interested in trucking, I think that Marion is somebody who you should talk to, because the trucking industry is not going anyplace. If you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur that just wants to know how to get started, wants to know how to create systems, I'm your girl. If you guys have any issues with real estate, like I don't even live in the Atlanta area, but I'm always encouraging people to do what they do who are an expert at anything that they do, to create a course or create a program for it. So I think a person like Deirdre can help me, because I'm an investor as well. And so I'm just learning. I just bought my first 2 properties, but I don't know anything about why is a buyer's market and why is a seller's market. So I think a person like Deirdre could come up with a program to teach people the why. So yeah, I'm great at helping people come up with stuff like that, and great at helping you put it in process. So that's kind of like where my coaching is. We all have something to offer in here, and I just think you should get to know each other, and let's push each other. I got way off topic. I don't even remember what I was talking about. This is why I keep notes, y'all. I don't even know what I was talking about to begin with anymore. Oh yeah, just encouraging you to Don't let setbacks bother you. Yeah, see? Um, I gotta go. I just got a phone call that I ignored, but I really gotta answer it. Okay. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.